Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Who doesn't know Farokh Engineer? He was an aspiring pilot, but he scared his mom so much by diving the tiger moths under the bridge in Mumbai that there was pressure that mounted on him and he had to give up his career of being a would-be pilot. Perhaps that was the reason why Peter Cherokee used to fly under the bridge, used to fly so low that you scare everybody. And as Sunil Gavaskar has said, he's the original playboy of Indian cricket, the swashbuckling cricketer. I will talk about the playboy. You may be shaking your heads now, but I will dig into it a short while from now, Mr. Farokh Engineer. And yes, you name it, and he played with them. Gary Sobers, Clive Lloyd, the quartet of the spin quartet, whether it is Prasanna, whether it is Vengsarkar, whether it is Bishan Singh Bedi, and even Venkat Raghavan, you name it, he played with them all. And he was a terror for the batsmen, particularly those who used to hit the cherry on the leg side, because he used to make the impossible possible, because you always used to catch in front of the first slip, so on and so forth, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, he received the news of his firstborn, and as you know, he has 4 daughters. He received the news of his firstborn, Minnie, from none other than the Queen of England, and where else but at the Lord's. And let's hear the story from the legend himself. Welcome, Mr. Farokh Engineer.
Thank you, Wasbir. For me, in the 60s, Assam was known only for the world's best tea. I never ever thought that I'd be coming to Assam one day. It's such an eventful event, for me to be here. I met Devajit as he mentioned, in Hyderabad when I received the Lifetime Achievement Award. And we were all the boys were there, all the Kapil Dev, Vengsarkar, and Sunil Gavaskar, and everyone. When Devajit mentioned, very kindly invited me, and I couldn't wait to accept the invitation.
Mr. Engineer, all the boys were there, that's what you said. Sunil Gavaskar,
there were girls also
Vengsarkar.
there. All the girls were there. The Indian ladies cricket team was there.
Yeah, ladies cricket team was. That is very important.
Of course, very important.
Absolutely.
I'm all for ladies playing cricket. I've always backed them, and it was fantastic to see them. And but it's lovely. My 3 great inspirations were my mum, my dad, and my brother Darius. My dad was a doctor by profession, and he was called Editor-in-Chief all his life. You don't see the funny side of it till you actually grow up, and only in Parsis, I think, you can have a thing like that. I played beach cricket or street cricket in Bombay those days, as it was called. Went to a school called Don Bosco High School. And you have Don Bosco here?
Yeah, we have.
Guwahati? Yeah, they were all over the country. And my classmate, my benchmate in kindergarten, from kindergarten until 10th standard, was a very, very famous actor called Shashi Kapoor. Have you heard of Shashi Kapoor? My word, that's a great guy. And there was a French teacher called Mr. Lobo, who used to hurl wooden dusters, heavy wooden dusters.
And he used to pick up the catch.
And anyone talking. And me and Shashi having a chat on the last bench. I suddenly saw from the corner of the eye this duster hurling towards Shashi. And this Mr. Lobo should have been a cover point for India, because he would have hit the stumps every time. He was a crack shot.
So was that the turning point? Because Mrs. Lobo's, when she threw the duster at you,
I caught this.
You caught the duster.
Well, inches from Sashi's face. And I used to always tell Sashi, कि साला तेरे को डाकू का role मिलता था. You would have had been in horror movies instead of the good-looking thing. But went to a college called Podar College of Commerce. When I was in my SSC, I was approached by a college professor And my mum wanted me to do commerce and economics, because my uncle
Right.
was chief accountant somewhere in Tata's or something. So naturally, to follow the tradition, I had no brains to become a doctor because my father would have dearly loved me to be a doctor. But anyway, second best was the accountant or something. And this professor approached me and said, how have you fared in your SSC exams? I was a bit puzzled why a professor who I've never met before asked him this question. I said, why are you asking me this question? He said, I want you to join Podar College, and around you, we want to build a cricket team. And, because cricket is so keen amongst our students and all that. And I said, you still not answered my question. Why do you ask me about my SSC exam? He said, I'll tell you frankly. I will make sure that you pass in your SSC exams. I couldn't believe that a professor was telling me that. I was an average student, so I did pass 50-odd% on my own, but I'd given him my word, and I joined the college. And later on, quite a few test cricketers like Dilip Vengsarkar, Sandeep Patil, Sanjay Manjrekar, Ravi Shastri, they all joined Podar College. So that was the start of my cricketing career, really, while at university level. Mm-hmm. Because at school, the very word cricket was sin. There was athletics and football and all sorts of things. And while at university, I learned flying, which was, and I was a qualified pilot. But in 1966, my whole career changed. My whole life changed.
Yeah, tell us about that. How did you get the call to don the test cap for the first time?
Well,
do you remember that?
Oh, yes, indeed. I got a call from, I think, one of the chairmen of selectors. It was Datta Ray, I think, those days, was from Bengal. And I was on the verge of test cricket. When you play for Bombay, those days, Bombay, I'm saying, Ranji Trophy, the whole, three-quarters of the 11 were from Bombay. There was Pankaj Roy from Kolkata. There was hardly any ML Jaisimha from Hyderabad, and Pataudi, who came on a bit later. So it was, so once you played for Bombay in the Ranji Trophy, you were on the mark to play test cricket. But 66 was the time when I, scored the fastest century and all that I was invited by 4 English counties.
No, prior to that, you played the first test match on the 1st of December, 1961.
My word, I can't remember the date.
Yeah,
but
that was in...
Was I born then?
Yeah, that was in Kanpur.
In Kanpur, absolutely right. In Kanpur, and we had a bowler called Polly Umbriga. And as he was about to bowl, somebody threw a peru, a guava, from the stands that hit Polly Umbriga on the chest. We were looking for that man for ages because India could have done with a guy, who has an arm like that. But yes, Kanpur was my first. I went in to bat when India were facing a hat-trick. Tony Locke had just got, 2 wickets. And my first 3 balls in Test cricket were 3 4s out of sheer nervousness.
But Mr. Farokh Engineer...
They were out of sheer nervousness because the ball, I could have been out LBW, but I was so nervous, pitched on the middle stump, and there were fielders all around me. Luckily, I had a good eye, and I middled all 3 balls. So I was lucky to survive that.
Yeah. You said a short while ago that your dad was called he was a doctor by profession.
Indeed.
And your dad was called Editor-in-Chief. Where did you get this? How did your family get the surname Engineer?
Well, we are Parsis. Do you know any Parsis? Any Parsis in Assam? I don't know. I haven't met any. But we are a strange community. We have Daru wala, soda bottle opener wala. We have
Supari wala.
Engineers. We have doctor. I know some doctors who have a surname called Doctor as well. So we are a strange community. Parsis. We are good. We enjoy a good laugh. Tatas, they're Parsis, Godrej. And you heard of are you into classical music at all? Have you heard of Zubin Mehta?
Yeah.
He's my first cousin. We grew up in Bombay together. His father, Melli, was with Halle Orchestra. And my father, being a doctor, he was captain of Grand Medical College in cricket. So our careers, but Zubir and I talk to each other very often. Usually at 3 o'clock in the morning, he rings me. What's the score in India playing Australia? And he's so keen on cricket. So, I mean, thing. But can I mention about 1966 now?
Yeah.
That was a turning point in my life, because I was invited by 4 English counties to play professional county cricket. I was the very first Indian Test cricketer to have been invited, which is a huge honor, not only for me, but for my country. And I decided to play for Lancashire. Luckily, they've elected me as a Lancashire legend, what they call. Here in India, they say legend. Legend hai tum.
Legend. Oh.
Anyway, they've got a stand named after me at Old Trafford, and they've got a suite named after me at the Hilton Hotel overlooking the ground. I mean, these are great moments. But as I was telling them earlier, that to be recognized in your own country by your own peers and in front of the whole Indian cricket team, who incidentally gave me a standing ovation that day, right? Rohit Sharma and everybody was there, you know, which brought a tear to my eye. So, I mean, Lancashire Cricket and Manchester United Football Club are just 100 yards from each other, as you know,
Yeah.
Old Trafford,
Yeah.
it's called. So, I mean, we were very friendly. We did all our training at Man United Football Club and all that. And later on, when Alex Ferguson, I've been very fortunate in my position living in England that I've come across so many very, very famous names. I'm not trying to name drop, don't get me wrong. But I used to play golf with Alex Ferguson once a week before he got his, heart operation. People like Pele, who stayed at my house, in fact. Muhammad Ali, I've had the honor of meeting him. Nelson Mandela, the great Nelson Mandela, Dalai Lama, Don Bradman. One wonderful story about Don Bradman. I was run out, sorry I'm digressing from your thing, but I was run out in both innings in Adelaide wearing rubber-soled shoes. And I was on 70-odd in both the innings. And Bradman comes to the dressing room. And of course, when Sir Don comes in, you stand up, because it's the greatest, greatest cricketer ever. So, I mean, why are you wearing rubber-soled shoes? So I had to explain to him that wearing spikes, they were hurting my feet during, while keeping wickets. So batting, I preferred batting in rubber-soled, crepe-soled shoes they had those days. But he would have nothing of it. And he said, what are you doing? What are you doing in the evening? And I was so nervous talking to Sir Don Bradman that I said, nothing. Actually, I had a date with Miss Adelaide, Badmash tha, pehle se hi badmash tha. Kya kare? My wife's not listening, no? So, I mean, I had to cancel the date and all that. I had to go to. He said, I'll come and pick you up at 7 o'clock at Hotel Australia, where we were staying. He came on the dot there. I was dying for a glass of beer, having played all day.
Yeah.
And I could have eaten a good steak or something like that. I was really famished. But I was going to Sir Don Bradman's house, When there was carrot juice. I'm looking for a beer here, an Aussie. Surely he'll offer me a beer. But they didn't drink on certain days. Mm-hmm. Then meat, there was a vegetarian meal. Sala main mar gaya, Parsi ko vegetarian meal khilate ho yaar after a whole day's play. But I'm at Sir Don Bradman's house. You got to accept all that. Then he had a rusty projector with a bed sheet sort of thing on the screen showing me his playing moments and all that. It was a fantastic evening. When he dropped me back about 9 o'clock or so, I was still in a daze that I've had a wonderful evening at Sir Don Bradman's house. And Sachin Tendulkar is the only other cricketer who's been invited to Bradman's house. Mm-hmm. And we exchanged notes. And he had the same thing. He drank carrot juice as well. and had a vegetarian meal.
Don Bradman had many good things to tell when he wrote about your book, about yourself, in this book of yours, that Farokh, the Cricketing Cavalier, where Sunny has described you as a playboy, but not Don Bradman. Anyway, we'll come to that. But
You want to read out Bradman's quote, though?
Yeah, I don't mind reading out Bradman's quote.
You were going to do that in the beginning.
Bradman has written in this book, Farokh, the Cricketing Cavalier. This is his authorized biography by Colin Evans. I always enjoyed Farokh's entertaining batsmanship and the way he enjoyed the game of cricket. He is one of the game's great ambassadors on and off the field, always a delight to talk to, and without doubt, he was one of the world's great wicketkeeper batsmen, Sir Donald Bradman.
Thank you for reading it out. I just wanted another bit of a clap, you know.
You have won many awards. You see, you have won many awards. You have won the Padma Shri, and you have won the Cricketing Lifetime Achievement Award from BCCI.
Arjuna
But-
Award, you name it. Yeah.
But not many people know, but one of the big awards that you received was the 2 Luna mopeds. This is the advertisement.
There's a lovely-
You and Chandrasekhar were issued
There's a
2
lovely story
Luna
about that.
mopeds. Tell me the story.
There's a lovely story. This, I don't know, has gone viral of late. I don't know if any of you all have received it. But Sunil Gavaskar sent me, Chandrasekhar sent it to me. Yeah. And I've got from Australia, from England, from America, I must have deleted at least 1,000. You know, people that I don't know also, some of them have got my mobile number and send me this. I don't know who sort of digs these out and who sends them, you know.
But it's,
a lovely story.
true. But it's true.
It's absolutely true, yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I was the highest run scorer in the India-England series, beating Sunil Gavaskar by about 60 or 70 runs. And that I always pointed out to Sunny, you know, who was the highest scorer, run scorer there. Because he was a, you know, far better player, more hundreds and technically very correct. And Chandra, he's won so many test matches for India. Great, the greatest spin bowler that India has ever had. So anyway, presented this Luna bicycle come, you know, motorcycle, whatever it was. So I had to catch a flight. I had to dash down to Santa Cruz Airport in about an hour's time to catch my flight back to England to, you know, for my contract with Lancashire. Because next day we were playing Yorkshire, and they specially requested me, the Farokh, if you can fly back immediately after the test match. I said, yeah, now what the hell do I do with a Luna motorcycle that's just been presented to me?
Yeah.
So a guy came to me and just by accident said, I've always wanted to meet you, Mr. Farokh Engineer, a huge fan of yours and this and that. And can I have a selfie and a signature? And I said, can you ride a bicycle? And he said, yeah, how have you come? He said, I came by train. He said, can you ride a bicycle? He said, yes, I can ride a bicycle. Why do you ask? He said, sit down on this and take a round of the Bradman Stadium. Let me see.
Yeah.
I don't want to kill the bugger before he reaches home. I don't want him to have an accident or something. So he came back. I said, this is a gift for you. You can have it. He couldn't believe it. He said, I can't pay you. I don't want a penny from you. Just take it. Good luck to you. You know, I just give you my good wishes. And I went off to the airport, thought nothing of it. A few years later, when I was back at the Bradman Stadium playing a test match for India, this guy comes outside the dressing room and asks for me. And the dressing room attendant says, somebody's asking for you, sir, that you gave him a bike or something like that. You know? I'm thinking, Salah, I hope he's not had an accident or something. You know? So I went to him. He had a wad of 100 rupee notes in his hand. He said, sir, that bike gave me such good luck. It got me a job that I wouldn't have been able to go otherwise and all that. And it's brought me so much good luck, and I just want to thank you. I said, you had good luck. Hope you continue to have good luck, my friend. Keep those notes back in your pocket and keep servicing the Luna regularly, I said.
Now, another interesting thing I'd like to get a confirmation from you. You see, 1983, when you were commenting that BBC's
Yes. World Cup.
World Cup,
Yeah.
when India won the match.
Yeah, it was Brad Johnson I was commentating
Absolutely. Brad asked you
Yeah.
whether your prime minister is going to give half day.
Not half day. A bank holiday.
A bank holiday, a full day's holiday,
Yeah.
because India has lifted the World Cup.
Yeah.
You very confidently said yes.
India were about to win the World Cup.
What happened after that? Then you said that, there was a call from Mrs. Gandhi's office. He was the prime minister then.
You're answering my question.
No, you say, you say whether it is you made it up,
Yeah.
the answer?
No.
Okay, tell us the answer.
How can you make up something
Tell
like
us
that?
what she said.
No. Brian Johnson mentioned Mrs. Gandhi was the prime minister those days. So he said, would Mrs. Gandhi declare a public holiday tomorrow, after India winning the World Cup? I said, I've no doubt at all. If at all she's listening, I'm sure, without a doubt, she will declare a public holiday. India winning the World Cup is a huge achievement for India. And I just said that in jest, left it at that. After India actually won, about 15 minutes later, there was a call through to BBC headquarters and relayed the call onto Lord's Cricket Ground in the commentator's box that Mrs. Gandhi has in fact heard your comments and declared a public holiday. Now, I was doing a Hindi commentary with Kapil Dev once, and we were talking in Hindi. Asking a Parsi to speak in Hindi could be very dangerous. Because when I narrated the incident to Kapil, I said, Meri to phat gayi yaar. The Kapil had like that hand in his mouth. How can you say that on air?
Yeah.
I said, I didn't say what phat gayi. I just said that it's an expression amongst Parsis. It's a normal thing. Gali zara to normal hai. But I didn't mean it in any disrespectful way. But that was the end of my Hindi commentating days. Nobody ever asked me for Hindi commentating.
No.
And just as well, because there would have been.
But
it's true. The story is absolutely true.
No, but when you met Mrs. Gandhi, she said you did a very good thing. I will get some more votes.
I met her in
I'm
Delhi
asking about that.
during a test match, and when I was introduced to her, she said, "I must thank you for making that comment. Helped me get a few more votes." She said. Yeah, that absolutely true story. That.
But you played T20 47 years before the game was introduced.
Yes, I mean, you see the ball, you hit it, and that was my motto. Being a wicketkeeper, luckily I had good eyesight. A half volley was a half volley, a long hop was a long hop, and it's got to get the treatment it deserves. That's the way I played my cricket. I enjoyed my cricket. There was no money. There was no money in the game when we played. We got paid 50 rupees a day. This is absolutely true. 50 rupees ek din ka. I was batting with Sunil Gavaskar against New Zealand. We were winning a match in 4 days. We had to get about 15, 20 runs, and there was half an hour left. But all sorts of messages were coming from the dressing room. Aaj game mat khatam karo, kal ka 50 rupees jayenge hamare. So suddenly Gavaskar and I started blocking, playing the Vijay Merchant type cricket. The New Zealanders also couldn't believe it. Come on, let's go and play golf tomorrow. So no. My teammates wanted us to bat, and 1 run was left the next day, but we got 50 rupees. We played for the pride of playing for India, for the honor of representing your country. Money never came into it. Can you imagine getting a Luna, present, a Luna, what do you call bicycle?
Yes.
For a highest run score of the whole series. Abhi to Ferrari ka baap milta hai un log ko, yeah.
Yeah.
They get jets.
You said that you used to play for Mother India, quote unquote.
Yes. Mother India has always been Hindustan apni mata hai. You know, I may live in England, but there's no greater ambassador of India than I am. हमारे लिए एक बोल, anyone one wrong word, उसको खा जाता हूँ मैं. You know, some of these English people called us bloody Indians a few years ago. I won't mention names. But thank God for IPL, thank God for cricket in general, that India has progressed over the years. And thank God for Assam Cricket. People like, Devajit and our CEO and Rag and several. Look at this academy, beautiful academy in Assam. You all have done a great job, sir. I congratulate you wholeheartedly for this. And I sincerely hope and pray that I know we've got IPL games coming here, but I hope we have a test match or a one-day international very soon in Guwahati. I'll be the happiest man to see that, because you all have made so much efforts, so much significance, so much keenness, so much honesty, that you all definitely deserve test matches here. And I hope the day is not far when you get to one.
No, you are a public figure, Mr. Farokh Engineer, but may I ask you a personal question?
Certainly, you're going to ask me in any case.
Yeah, you're right.
I have no
Your
choice.
guess is right.
You're the boss.
At 86, I must say your hair is quite in place. Is it the Brill cream effect?
Now this Brill cream, although we got paid 50 rupees a day playing for India, Brill cream offered me a contract for 2,000 pounds those days. The one before me, two people before me, was Keith Miller from Australia and Dennis Compton from England, who was a double international, soccer and cricket. To be asked to model for Brill cream those days was like being on the cover of Vogue magazine or something. It was a huge, huge thing to be asked to be a Brill cream.
You are the first Indian cricketer to have been approached for endorsements.
Yes, I was the very first, and I'm hugely honored for that. Although the endorsement used to get 1,000 rupees or something, Lux, Lambretta scooters, you name it. There was a chapati, in Bombay, big sort of hoarding. The whole thing was covered with adverts, and even my daughters were with me in ads. I mean, nowadays also, Shah Rukh Khan, Amitabh, they're all in ads, and Virat Kohli and his darling wife, they're all in ads these days. So, I mean, it's nothing new. Yes, but I was the one to start it. After me, Kapil Dev and one or two other people came.
What do you think of cricket today? Do you see yourself, suppose I ask you to talk about you being a cricketer in this day and age, when cricket is absolutely corporatized, we have the T20 version of the game, people just hit the ball.
Well, it's all great for the game. It's great for finances. It's given people poor people from villages whose fathers were auto rickshaw drivers, and they've been able to buy them homes, their parents and all that, which is very touching. And I'm all for that, yes, indeed. IPL has done wonders. IPL is the envy of the world. People can call it tamasha or not real, cricket, not playing cricketing shots and all that. But it's entertainment. It's provided, it's brought in the housewives, it's brought in the kids, it's brought in people who never understood the game. It's brought in them. It's brought in, fanatics supporting Rajasthan Royals or Delhi Capitals or whatever they're called, Hyderabad Blues or whatever the teams are called. But I would rather see an India versus Pakistan match, or India versus England match, or India versus Australia. I'm a traditionalist. I was brought up on that, But Sachin told me that I would have been the highest player in IPL auctions had I been playing these days. I would have certainly welcomed that, believe me.
Just transporting you back to the past, when you were playing in Jamnagar in Gujarat, your mom was absolutely sick.
You certainly done your homework,
The Maharaja of Jamnagar stopped the Indian Airlines flight and you went to home.
Yes.
And your mom said that I'll come back to you as your first
Can I tell
child.
the story?
Please tell me that story.
Because you know more about it than I do.
That's touching. That's my job.
This is a very, very touching story. My parents had never called me home from a cricket match before. And my mum was in Tata Memorial Hospital, which is a cancer hospital. And she was taken there for observation. So, and I thought nothing of it, that she would be all right. And when I got this call, I was batting on about 90 odd or something in a Ranji Trophy match against Saurashtra. And tea time, this call came that your mother is quite seriously ill. And that's all. Not that she wants you to come or something. I just took my pads off and everything, and I said, I've got to catch a flight. The flight was from Ahmedabad, the nearest airport. The flight from Rajkot had left already that day. So this Satru Shalesh, the Maharaja of Jamnagar, he had an old Cadillac, left-hand drive Cadillac. He gave his driver a wad of rupees. He said, just make sure you take Farokh to Ahmedabad airport in time for this flight. The old driver was driving about 15, 20 miles per hour. And I thought, Ahmedabad kitna dur hai? I thought we'll never even reach half the distance. I said, aap yahan baithiye, main drive karunga gaadi. I'd never driven a left-hand drive car before, but I must have driven about 80, 90 miles per hour on those roads that were not very good. And we reached Ahmedabad airport literally on time as the plane was about to take off. And the captain had heard about it. The Indian Airlines manager was at the match. So he must have phoned them and told them that, that if they can. So the flight was full, by the way. And the captain asked the passengers, would anyone be willing to give me the seat? Because I had to rush to Bombay to see my mother who was ill. And the captain told me that each and every passenger offered to give me his seat, which was so touching. So the captain thought, no, this is such a touching, if I don't mind sitting in the jump seat. So I went in the jump seat, landed in Bombay. I was at the hospital, straight from the airport. And I was by my mother's side, and I knew she was thinking. So naturally I was crying, Sarita. She put her hand on my head and said, don't cry, son. I promise you I'll come back as your first child. As I'm talking, I'm sorry if I'm bursting in. This is a very nostalgic moment for me. And my first child, my mum was called Minnie. So when the Queen gave me the message at Lord's and said that I've got some wonderful news for you, it's the first thing I said, what's it, a boy or a girl, ma'am? She said, what did you want? I said, a girl. And she said, well, you've got one. That was the conversation in the long room at Lord's.
Please tell us about how did the Queen come to give you the message?
Because,
I of course, know the story.
Traditionally, on the first day of a test match at Lord's, the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh always come in the long room at Lord's and meet both the teams. So this is a tradition. It just happened to be that my child was born in Bombay and a telegram was sent to the hotel who sent it to Lord's. It was just a coincidence. So nothing planned or nothing engineered. You know. It was
Absolutely.
there, and Her Majesty was there, and she gave me the news. I mean, these things don't happen every day, so you don't forget it. But my mum was my greatest friend. She died at a young age. She never saw me play cricket. And every morning and night, I say my prayers, and my mum is in my prayers.
Right.
I just say thank you to my mother, to my father, just for being what they were, sacrificing their whole lives for me and my brother. You know. So this is the respect we Indians are taught, or it comes to us naturally, you know, to respect our parents and think of mother and father.
Let me ask you this question. Why did Sunny Gavaskar say that you are the greatest playboy of Indian cricket?
Because he was bloody jealous, that's why. We used to have a cricketer called Jaisima, ML Jaisima, from Hyderabad, with his collars up, and he had a rather sexy walk, you know. So once I was opening the innings with him, I think against the West Indies, and his collars up and he's moving his bum like that and walking, you know, going out to open the innings with me. And I just felt like singing that song. Nakrewale, you know. He said, Salam, mazak mat kar, Farokh, we're going to face the fastest bowlers in the world here. I said, they can only bowl one ball at a time. You got a ball in your hand, they've got a ball, you got a bat in your hand. So, I mean, I used to make them feel at ease because the fear in the dressing room was bad because we had Nari contractor got hit on the head, almost died, you know. I was there in Barbados. So, I mean...
You were also very much wanted as a judge of beauty pageants and so on.
Well, that's where I met my dear wife. Because...
See, I'm pretty well informed, you see.
You've done your homework.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I was judging Miss United Kingdom beauty contest with a couple of very big names, you know. You think I've been name dropping all evening. And I'd seen this young lady the week before. So she just came and said hi to me. I said, what are you doing here? She said, my best friend has entered the competition. So I'm here to support her. I said, who is your best friend? And she pointed out to a scraggy bloody skeleton. You know? And I thought, I said to her, you're far better looking than her. And I'll tell you what, women are so gullible. She believed it, and here we are, married for 49 years. They'll believe everything you tell them.
I think, you know, your wife should have been here as well. You know,
she's
talking.
there.
I know.
I can see her glaring
right
at me.
across because I could have taken her point of view as well.
Why do you think
it's one-sided answer?
Why do you think I'm facing this way? You know.
Yeah.
No, she's lovely, Julie. No,
I think credit goes to her for that.
She's a fantastic wife, a great mother. We got 4 daughters. We got 2 grandchildren. But I'm truly blessed because I've got a wonderful family, wonderful friends, wonderful well-wishers. You know, and wherever I go, I'm feted and met and loved by so many people. So many people have excellent memories, remembering. Aajkal kaun yaad karta hai yaar? You know, even the youngsters come to me for selfies and autographs because of internet, and they've seen all these old pictures and all that, which is so gratifying for an old man. I feel truly blessed, and I'm sure so do you. You know, God is great. And this is the thing, an absolute delight to be here in Guwahati. I was going to say Guwahati, which was the previous name, Guwahati. And you people are lovely. You Assamese people are lovely. And thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
You've been terrific.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Farokh Engineer.